Hi folks, hope you are doing well. Welcome to Rajesh Durbala Tutorials. I'm your instructor Rajesh Durbala. Today we are going to discuss the strategies for selecting target markets. Fine, let's get into the session right away and see what's there in store for today. So first and foremost, what is a target market? Now, if we want to define this, right? So a target market is a group of people or organizations for which an organization designs, implements, and maintains a marketing mix intended to meet the needs of that group, resulting in mutually satisfying exchanges. So here we are emphasizing on certain things which I have highlighted. We are emphasizing that a target market, it consists of a group of people or organizations. Okay, if it's a B2C market, it's a group of people, and if we are into a B2B market, then we are emphasizing on organizations. So our target market can be the people as well as organizations, right? For which our company, our organization, it tries to design or implement and maintains a marketing mix. Okay, when we say marketing mix, it includes our product, price, place, and promotion. So it designs specifically for those group of people or those group of organizations. Okay, and why are we designing or implementing or maintaining that marketing mix? The purpose is to meet the needs of that group. Okay, we are trying to resolve their problems, we are trying to offer them solutions, and the result of which is a mutually satisfying exchange. When I say mutually, it is for our organization as well as for the group of people or organizations whom with we are dealing, for whom we are designing or implementing and maintaining the marketing mix. When we say satisfying exchange, that means that group of people or organizations must be satisfied with our product, and at the same time it is a satisfying exchange for us, the business organization, if it is profitable, right? So the basic agenda of a target market is we try to select a group of people or organizations which we call a market segment, for whom we design or implement or maintain a marketing mix which satisfies their needs, and it is mutually beneficial for both the parties, right? So that is what basically our target market is. Going ahead, now why targeting is needed? Why is it important? Now it's important because our market, it consists of a heterogeneous mix of people. Okay, it could be customers, both people or organizations. They are heterogeneous in nature. That is to say, they are diverse. They are diverse in their characteristics, in their lifestyle, in their backgrounds, in their levels of income, and one particular marketing mix is unlikely to satisfy them, right? If I have a single marketing mix, I cannot satisfy all the diverse customers or groups of customers that exist in the market. So if a marketeer, he wishes to appeal to more than one segment of the market, it must develop different marketing mixes, right? So I have developed some specific marketing mix to target a specific segment. Okay, now for instance, I've given you this example. Try to see Titan as a brand. Titan as a brand, you can see it has this Titan Raga, which is targeting the females. Titan Raga designs watches and sells it specifically targeting to the females, to women. Likewise, you have Fast Track, which focuses or targets the youth, and you have Titan Sonata, which targets those people who look for fancy, or they look for some kind of watches which look expensive but are value driven. Okay, they don't want to spend a lot of money. They are value driven customers, but they like to wear something classy. Okay, So Sonata targets such kind of people. So this is one example that you can keep it in mind. Like for women, Titan Raga. For the youth segment, I have this Fast Track. And for the economy people, okay, those people who are more into looking for value for money watches, for them, they have this Titan Sonata. Okay, so they maintain a different marketing mix for different groups of people in the market. Now, when I'm discussing these strategies, okay, we have three different strategies for selecting the target markets. The first and foremost is the undifferentiated targeting. When I say that a firm is using an undifferentiated targeting strategy, then what it essentially does is that it adopts a mass market philosophy. That is to say, it views the entire market as one big market with no individual segments. The firm uses one marketing mix for the entire market, and it adopts an undifferentiated strategy, assuming that every customer, all the individual customers have similar needs that can be met with a common marketing mix. Now, to understand this, you can go back to what Henry Ford's famous comment about Model T was, and that can be always quoted as a classic example of an undifferentiated targeting strategy. He said that they can have their car in any color they want as long as it's black. Right? Likewise, when Maruti Suzuki launched its best-selling car, that is Maruti 800, way back, I suppose in 1983, it was available in very limited colors with extra price being charged for white color model. Okay, and at one time, Coca-Cola used this strategy with a single product and a single size of its familiar green bottle, the legendary, the classic green bottle. And marketeers of various commodities like flour, atta, sugar are also likely to use the same undifferentiated strategy. Okay, and if you just think of the advantage, what could be the advantage of this undifferentiated marketing? Undifferentiated marketing is that it has a potential of saving a lot on production and marketing, because it's just one product, right, which is produced. The firm should be able to achieve the economies of mass production. We achieve the economies of scale. Also, the marketing costs may be lower when there is only one product to promote and a single channel of distribution. So, there is always a default design. Okay, you don't have to reflect on various designing strategies, various ways of promoting the product, because it's just one product. So that could be one basic advantage that they can gain through undifferentiated targeting, that is achieving the production scales or economies of scales. Okay, that advantage can be gained just because of the mass production that they can achieve. And coming to the next strategy, that is concentrated targeting. With a concentrated targeting strategy, what a firm does is that it selects a market niche. When I say market niche, that is one segment of a market for targeting its market efforts. Okay, marketing efforts are just targeted towards that one segment. Now, because the firm is appealing to a single segment, it can concentrate on understanding the needs, the motives, and the satisfactions of that customer segment members, and on developing and maintaining a highly specialized marketing mix. Now, some firms that find that concentrating resources and meeting the needs of a narrowly defined market segment is more profitable than spreading its resources on several different segments. I just focus on only one segment and I don't spread my resources across all the segments. So this is the basic philosophy of some companies. For instance, let us say Mederma, okay, is a specialty brand that helps in treating scars, the scars on skins. Now, though on a general basis, it comes under the skincare market, but specialty wise, it is dermatology product. Same way, Nycil is the market leader in the prickly heat powder category, and Bernol is a burn specialist. Now you can understand, right, what they have done. They have achieved success only by concentrating all their efforts in identifying one particular niche. Okay. Now, Nycil, when they are making the talcum powder, they can, they have created a talcum powder which is specifically for prickly heat. They could have created a talcum powder with fragrance or anything, but they have concentrated all their efforts on creating that particular product which is targeting only a particular market segment, that niche, who are in need of that skincare or dermatology product. Okay. And sometimes small firms often adopt a concentrated targeting strategy to compete effectively with much larger firms. For example, let us say Naukri.com, probably it rose to number 1 in the online job portal industry by catering to people searching for job opportunities. Now then, it expanded into matrimony, then real estate, online classifieds as well. Now, some other firms use a concentrated strategy to establish a strong position in a desirable market segment. For example, let us say Porsche or Rolls-Royce. It targets an upscale automobile market, right? It has that class appeal, not mass appeal. Now, concentrated targeting violates the old adage, like, don't put all your eggs in one basket. In that, what they have done, like in concentrated targeting, they have in fact put all their eggs in the same basket by targeting only a single market segment or by identifying their niche. That is what is concentrated marketing. Now, coming to this multi-segment targeting strategy. Here what happens is a firm chooses to serve 2 or more well-defined market segments and develops a distinct marketing mix for each and has a multi-segment strategy. Now, all those firms which are targeting 2 or more market segments with well-defined marketing mix, what they are doing in fact is they are going for a multi-segment targeting strategy. Horlicks, for example, historically it was available as a health food drink targeting children, right? Now, however, over the years, what they have done is the brand has segmented its customers into various core groups based on the type of value they seek from the food drink. Young toddlers, right? You have that children in the age group of 2 to 5 years. They require essential nutrients for mental and physical development. And this led to the launch of Junior Horlicks. Similarly, nutrition requirements of pregnant women are different from others. So they have the Mother's Horlicks, right? And similarly, you can see they have various other things like we have just discussed Horlicks Junior, Women's Horlicks. Likewise, they have Horlicks Light, Horlicks Chocolate, Horlicks Classic. Okay, so what Horlicks has adopted is the multi-segment targeting strategy. Now, multi-segment targeting offers many potential benefits to the firms, including greater sale volume, higher profits, larger market share, and economies of scale in manufacturing and marketing, right? So, these are some of the strategies for selecting the target markets. I hope you found this lecture to be useful and interesting. If so, do like, share and subscribe. Spread the good word. Have a nice day. Bye-bye. Thank you for watching.